Happy Falcon and Winter Soldier Day to every single one of you guys. Today we're going to be discussing episode 3 of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier in full spoiler details. There's a lot to discuss in this episode. And first off, guys, holy crap, did anyone else freak out from how intense and actually pretty gritty the action scenes were in here? I mean, Sharon Carter came to play. We're going to have a lot to discuss in this episode, and most likely this is already the best episode of this show yet. It kind of, first episode was great. From what everyone kind of talked about, it was a little bit of a slow start. Second episode started really getting in and diving into the story, but episode 3... oh yeah, this is the prime content I've been waiting to see, and man oh man, I cannot wait to rewatch this episode and in general see what the rest of the 3 episodes will have for the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. But if you guys are new here, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss out on the conversation every single week. I love talking Marvel, Star Wars, any sort of that geeky stuff, and when Disney Plus has a brand new show, I'm going to be there to review it, as well as comment down below, let me know your theories, your thoughts, what do you think might be happening this week. That is my favorite thing, is reading your guys' comments and theories from last week, and in general just come in seeing what you guys thought about this week's episode. So overall, lots of things happen in this one. The biggest thing, and the 2 biggest things probably, is of course Zemo and Sharon Carter show back up in this episode. These are 2 characters that we've seen from the trailers. We knew they were going to be coming into play, and they're back. The episode opens up with, of course, Bucky, and, well, it opens up with that nice little commercial with the blip. And this is something that I am, again, very interested in seeing how they are to bring about the ending in the aftermath of Endgame and Infinity War. And in a sense, a lot of these shows are not just the epilogue to that, it's also the epilogue, especially this one in particular, it's the epilogue to the Captain America trilogy that we got. And I think it's so interesting how they're able to take this whole blip concept and dive in. Now, there are certain characters that I'm interested to see. Of course, if they were actually blipped, if they not, maybe I missed it. Was Zemo blipped? Was he not? That was a character that I was interested in. It sounds like Sharon Carter was not, but for the most part, when you look at Falcon and Bucky, we do know that both of them were, and they missed out on a lot of things. But moving in, of course, the episode starts off, and it's great, because Bucky has that conversation with Zemo. He comes out, him and Falcon are talking, and they're like, you're kind of sitting there like, where are they? And then, of course, as Bucky is kind of telling the Falcon what's going on, we are seeing that Zemo is escaping, all thanks to Bucky himself, which honestly you would think is probably the last person to ever help Zemo escape prison, but he did. And this is where that giant twist already happened, because I felt that Zemo was going to be the villain of this entire series. Could still end up being the entire villain. It sounds like there's this Carly girl that we've already seen with the super serum, but we also have this power broker who is also kind of mysterious. We don't know who's playing that, how that might come into play, but for the most part, right now, Zemo is on our side. He's working with Bucky and Falcon, which is really interesting. Like, I did not expect that. But for me, Zemo was one of the most underrated villains in the MCU so far, and seeing Daniel Bruhl come back is just great in the role. One thing in particular, did anyone feel like his accent was different in this thing? It felt like he was doing a type of different voice. Maybe I just need to go back and rewatch Civil War. Maybe I'm crazy. Let me know if I'm crazy down below. But it was just great seeing that now they're working together. And then they're kind of going to this location, which we've seen from the trailers, this Neon City, which totally gave me John Wick vibes. Like, the whole underground, continental, hitman type of world. And even kind of a little bit of stuff from Tortuga from Pirates of the Caribbean, just more modernized than, not from back in the day with swords and flintlock pistols. But other than that, it was kind of nice going to this little location that was so different and seeing them all go undercover. We had Winter Soldier go back undercover, we had Zemo, and of course we even had, and he's a Baron, which is something that, again, we have not talked about that much, Baron Zemo, and of course Falcon played this guy who, again, they dive into that how America would view him as, a pimp. But Baron's like, well, that's how Americans view you, not here. This is you're playing the part. And that was interesting to say the least. And it also plays in the part how there's a lot behind Zemo that we don't know. We know the bare minimums that Civil War definitely taught us, but for me, I found this series to be interesting because, again, we're getting more time with characters that I feel like are so interesting, and to just get more time with Zemo is kind of something that, again, adds a little bit more to Civil War when we watch that. But, of course, they go to this island. They're kind of doing their whole thing. They go and meet this lady that apparently knows something about the super serum, and as they're making their deals, Sam's sister calls, breaks their cover, guns go off, and again, great action from that whole entire thing. Then they meet up with, of course, our friend, who we have not seen since, Civil War as well? We have not seen her. she pops up. Nice to have her back. Like, I've really been missing Peggy's granddaughter. I think it's her granddaughter. Sharon Carter. I've been really missing her because I think she's a good character. And I was like, what are they doing with this? And this is the biggest thing that comes into play in this episode is when Falcon is having that discussion with her. You know, she helped him get the shield. They helped him do all this. But the thing with her is, she stuck her line out for them. She helped them get the shield, his wings, all that sorts of stuff in Civil War. We didn't know what the aftermath for her was. Yeah, like, she, in a sense, her whole life has been destroyed because of them. And, we didn't see her in Infinity War, we didn't see her in Endgame, we didn't know what was going on with her. This is something big that now we find out she's been living off the grid and she's not allowed on American soils. This is terrible. And to kind of just think about that and how her life has been during the blip, how she hasn't seen her family. There's a lot of heart-wrenching stuff in there. And I really like how, now that is personally affecting Sam because now he's seeing what his choices and what him and Cap's choices have done to others in their lives and really have not even really had time to think about it because of everything going on in this world. And again, I think that is so fascinating to play a part and really look inside of that in a whole technical level. And again, I really, really love that. I think it's great. But of course, they come to a deal. You work with me, I'll get you a pardon. Look, they even pardon freaking Bucky himself. They pardon all those sorts of things like that. They end up going to this place where the scientists had made the super serum. And throughout this whole entire thing, it just opens up a lot more doors. This guy created the super serum. He blipped, came back, and that job was no more. It's interesting to see that the CIA brought that in and again ties into last week's episode with Isaiah and how they used him as a test subject. And it's crazy and nasty to think that that's the only way they view him as. And I can't wait to see how Isaiah and his grandson end up playing more into this whole entire show. There's a lot of characters that are being revealed as we are going about inside of this. And it's really interesting to see how the Falcon and the Winter Soldier is again playing off that. Of course, Zemo ends up killing him. And inside of all this, Sharon Carter is beating the crap out of people, going full John Wick. I mean, this is some of the grittiest action. We're seeing her stab people, throw things, hit them. I'm like, oh my God. I mean, you had the blood. I mean, there was a little bit of blood on the knife. You had the blood. That's an R rating right there. But I love the action in here. It was intense. It was gritty. And of course, Zemo ends up killing the scientists. They all go crazy on him. RPG stuff. Explosions everywhere you can imagine. And then Bucky and Falcon and all of them join the action. And Zemo gets some kick-ass stuff. I mean, in Civil War, we didn't see him do much action. And here he is. He puts the mask on and totally goes ham. And I dug that. I dug, again, the action in here was just very exhilarating. I've been saying that since the very first episode. But every single action sequence is amped up. And for the most part now, this was the last episode that we really saw any footage in the trailer. I think the only thing we haven't really seen is when Falcon is throwing the shield around. I'm hoping that isn't, like, I'm hoping that's a flashback. I'm hoping it's not anything of that nature, but again, intense. I loved it. And at this whole entire time, John Walker and his friend are trying to figure out what's going on. At the end of the episode, they kind of assume that, Zemo, they helped Zemo get out. So that's going to be interesting to see how that plays. I know he's not our Cap. I really like how Russell is playing the role, though, and I'm interested to see how he ends up going down the road, because for the most sense, he's trying to be the best version of himself that he can be, but it's also starting to get to his head in this episode as we see that, do you know who I am? Yeah, but you're not him. You're not my Captain America, dude, so chill out. But again, Russell's doing a great job in that role. So now tying in overall, getting back to the ending, of course, Sharon Carter doesn't go with them, but there's some things she's still working on the side. Carly, I think that's her name, the new villain. I'm still kind of waiting to see a little bit more of her. We're getting some basic depth to her, but I'm still waiting. There seems to be something kind of hindering me back on her. Nothing on her performance, but I need a little bit more from this villain still before I can, like, fully get on board. And again, same with the Power Broker I'm kind of interested in. But of course, the episode ends with them walking in this building, kind of going to meet someone that Zemo knows. But Bucky's like, hey, I'll catch up. I just need to take a walk. Finds a little pearl, and I'm like, they're doing the Wakandans. The Wakandans are coming in. And of course, finds another one, and I'm like, they want us to think it's, Walker, but it's not. Once he finds that second one again, I was like, Wakandans. He turns, no one there, turns back around. I'm like, here we go. And I thought it was going to be Okoye. I thought they were going to do Okoye. It isn't. It was one of the other main guards that I'm pretty sure is, Okoye's, second in command. And that just opens up more doors to see the Wakandans. They want Zemo for, of course, what they did. They tied that earlier on in the episode when they mentioned how he had killed T'Chaka. And that now just, again, Oh, how does that tie into next week? That is the cliffhanger we got this week. And overall, I absolutely loved The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. What an excellent episode. Again, I am having such a blast with this show in every sort of way. And I'm sure many of you guys are feeling the same exact way. So make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Comment down below. Let me know your guys' thoughts on this episode. What was your favorite moment? What did you think of the action scenes? What did you think of that cliffhanger? Who do you think is the power broker? And let's just discuss all that sorts of stuff down below in the comment section. I can't wait to discuss with you guys then. So of course, until next time, until next week, stay classy and stay safe.